Epic, epic, epic. It is an epic day in Cape Town, South Africa. And you're wondering why I'm wearing this. I'm going to have an epic interview with a friend that I've known for 30 years who has done the epic, and we'll chat about that soon. And we are in an epic place with an epic background, and we're going to share some epic advice and an epic story. Is that all right? Alistair John Selleck. Am I right?
To it, Craig.
All right, so let's get into it. This is for videocelebritynews.com. My name's Craig Metrowich. This is to inspire you, energize you, and excite you. If the sound is good, I want a love and a like. If the signal is good, we're live. Give me lots of love so I know that you can see this and it's crystal clear on a beautiful, epic day. Let's get into the interview, the intro. First of all, it's great to have known you for 30, we worked it out, over 30 years, giving away our age.
Yeah.
And then, Alice, let's go to the beginning. Like, what is your background? Let's start with your career. This being like a bio, getting to know you for the audience.
Sure.
So let's start in the beginning. What did you study as? Are you smart, not smart? Come, let's go for it.
Well, I studied actuarial science at the University of Cape
Actuarial
Town.
science. Okay, so he's a smart oak. I thought so all along anyway.
But I did get into trouble for spending too much time windsurfing when I should have been at lectures. So
I can relate
I had
to that.
keep the balance. Yeah.
So you've also always been into the ocean sports. You've got
Very
what
much.
I call healthy addictions, right?
Very much so, yeah.
Let's talk about from then. So you studied, you were into sports. What became your career passion and path?
Yeah, so I had a bursary through a big life insurance company. So I used to work there for a couple of years just to pay back the bursary, and then my big break was when I got the opportunity to manage their life annuity fund. So unfortunately it took me up to Joburg away from the sea, but it was a great opportunity and a great
So message for that, right? Me being a business coach and inspirational speaker is you've made some sacrifices in the beginning of your career
Definitely
to be
had to.
able to be in this beautiful, amazing, wonderful place where we're at right now. So you've put in that, that time to set your foundation.
That I did.
All right. Then let's take the next level. So you got involved, you understand the finance side. What was one of the highs, like a tipping point, a turning point for you where you realize, hell, I can do this and I'm pretty good at it? Did you get any awards, any accolades?
Well, it was just, the fund was a very big fund. It was a 9 billion rand fund when we started. Yeah.
9 billion. That's an
And
epic number.
It was a massive number. It took some getting used to in the beginning, and then by the time I left, it was at 15 billion. So it was a great learning curve. I learned some things that many people take decades to learn just by being exposed to the right people and the right experience.
And that is such a good statement is, when you get the right opportunity but have the guts to take it. Often we see an opportunity, we don't have the guts and courage to take it, right?
You sometimes got to take the plunge. And then from there I was relocated back to Cape Town after just over 2 years. And then through a couple of opportunities ended up joining another guy. We set up the first fixed interest hedge fund in South Africa.
Okay, now in English, what does that mean?
Well,
that's why I love you guys with your acronyms, and your terminology.
How much time have we got?
What does it mean? You take my money and you do something with it, I presume.
It's a fund that tries to give you positive returns whether the market is positive or negative. So you use gearing and leverage. So you're borrowing money, or if you short sell an instrument, you borrow a scrip to deliver what you've sold. But it's quite a high-tech, very advanced form of financial engineering that you use to try and deliver consistent positive returns.
Which gets to our theme. When I spoke about the theme I'd like as a topic, I said to him, the theme's going to be storm chaser versus storm avoider, because if you look at the financial markets in your game career-wise, it's not Nostradamus, but at times you must go like, okay, let's look at the crystal ball and based on data and analysis, make the best prediction possible.
Yeah.
So is it a combination of wisdom and technology?
The investment is part science and part art. So there's so many things that you study and prepare to try and understand the basic processes. But then so many random factors happen. Sometimes it's luck. You might be exposed to something that saves you via a lucky hedge, or it can be really bad. Like you could have exposure to a company that goes bust. And a lot of people will remember African Bank, which went bust in 2014. We managed to miss that, but it happens regularly. So lot of art and some stuff you can't learn. It's purely experience. And
so your gut feel, let's go with that. So you have some gut feel around it. Then you have your heart pumping and pulsating based on what you're seeing in the market. And then you go into your thinking side, your analysis, using your neurons and your neural activity to go, right, the combination of my gut feel, my heart, and my thinking, this is what I'm going to predict.
Yeah. Okay, and often it's a case of balancing the risks. You've got to work out what's the upside if I take this position, what's the downside, and you try and take risks that give you more upside than downside, rather than 50-50 bets or risks of small gain but massive losses.
So where are you currently at? Let's talk about now current. So what are you currently doing?
After that, I set up my own hedge fund in 2005, a company called Southeaster Fund Management.
Southeaster?
Yep.
Hello. There's relevance there, am I right?
Well, I realized how much time I'd be spending working and how much less time I'd be spending windsurfing in the Southeaster. So at least when I was working, I sort of vaguely felt like I was exposed to the wind. But yeah, that was 2005. So that fund's been running for 12 years.
Well done. Well done.
It was crazy with hindsight. I mean, we took 21 million rand and started a fund, which is way too small. But we grew that fund to 440 million at its peak. It's a lot smaller now. We've suffered some outflows, but in our first 5 years we were the top fixed interest hedge fund over 5 years, and we're busy fighting to regain that track record. So that company I sold to a company called Katie's Asset Management in 2015.
Very well known brand. I know the company very well.
And then I took over a whole lot of other responsibilities. So I have a team of 5 interest rate professionals, and we manage, apart from the hedge fund, we now manage a full suite of fixed interest products. So money market funds, income funds, or traditional bond funds.
So now I understand why the extreme sports experience that you've had is there's a perfect synchronicity between your personal life and your hobbies versus your career path, if I understand it correctly. Am I right?
Well, some of the stresses that the financial markets expose you to just necessitate you have to have a balance. You have to have some form of actually dealing with it. And as a windsurfer, you would know there's something special about recharging the batteries when you're staring at a 2, 3, 4 meter wave bearing down at you, and you've somehow got to get over it.
And you also know Mother Nature is going to win if it really wants to.
Exactly. You got to either get out of there or you got to swim your way back to safety.
Correct. All right, let's go now to the epic side of why I also wanted this interview and why we're wearing these helmets to set the tone and set the theme. You had the privilege, the honor, plus the efforts. And I want to ask you to talk loud because we've got the beautiful scene in the background. But let's show everybody what we're doing. You had the amazing opportunity to enter the Epic, which is, for those not the internationals, go and Google Cape Epic Cycling and you can see some of the YouTube clips. But just to qualify, what did it take? So let's talk about that now. What did it take to qualify?
Epic by name, epic by nature, but you have to prepare yourself for 7 days of riding, an average of 70.
No man, you've got a car. 7 days.
7 days.
What's wrong with you guys? Don't you have vehicles?
Well, 70 to 100 k's, but that's the easy part. The fact that you've got to usually climb 2,000, 3,000 meters in a day is what makes it so tough. So it's next level commitment. So I didn't really know what I was signing up for when I committed, but I found myself waking up every morning feeling very afraid, and that to just inspire me to get on the bike and try and get fit. So what was more interesting, that I'd broken my shoulder in the August, I think. I entered in September, so I actually was in the shoulder sling when I entered. So that was the trickier curveball, not knowing fully whether I'd recover or not. But
so definitely what they call healthy addictions. You feel it's a healthy addiction. Listen, I want to show you shirts a bit. I want to get you into frame deliberately. You can see he's dressed for the part
there you
today.
Go. Check out.
Let me show you. Watch. Okay. So you can all see. Right, if you can hear this and it's crystal clear, we have the ocean in the background. We're going to speak as loud as we can without shouting in this session. But I've got with me Alistair John Selleck. The theme is about storm chaser versus storm avoider. He's spoken about his understanding of the financial markets, part of his career. But now we're going to chat more about his experience in the Epic, which is a cycling, well, now that I understand more, it's a cycling endurance race, yes or no?
Yeah, that it
Okay,
is.
and it certainly sounds like you've got to either be addicted or touched to do
Very,
it.
very much so. I mean, they call it the Tour de France of mountain biking, and the guys they've built it into such an incredible event. It really is such an experience. From the moment when you actually you start on the podium for the prologue, and you have to ride off and do your first time trial to get your placing.
What was the biggest challenge on the route?
Well,
so give me, like, Craig, biggest challenge that for you personally?
Biggest challenge, in spite of all the preparation, was day one. It got to about 40 degrees. We were riding around the Hermanus, Hemel and Arder Valley, and at about the 60k mark, it was about 35 degrees, and we had to do the biggest climb of the day. And
unbelievable.
Just the heat and the exhaustion, and the daunting fact that you've got another 6 days of this ahead. So it was incredibly tough.
So how's that for an intro? Hey? Like, okay, this is the intro, guys. Day one.
Yeah, no.
Suffer.
I think they lost 84 teams out of a total of 660, which is the highest number of withdrawn teams ever.
What was the high? Let's go to the high. So was there, like, you were coming over a hill, phenomenal sunset? What in your mind, if anybody's watching this and aspiring to enter the Epic, by the way, Epic is...
First have your head read.
Okay.
And then get riding.
Okay, so training-wise, was that the high for you, the whole process?
It was such a journey. I had to do a whole lot of races. I had a fantastic partner. He took me from a relative novice in the sport to being able to actually compete in the event. And we just rode in so many different places. We did races like the Attakwas, the Tankwa Trek. So you're going through beautiful scenery.
So the build-up for so what I understand is, if I go back to my athletics days, part of the fun to qualify for a race was exactly that. You'd have to enter, let's say, 2 or 3 races, and then based on your performance there, you would actually make the cut.
Yeah.
So the build-up is as important, huh?
Very much so. I mean, they say that benchmarker, you have to be riding between 10 and 15 hours a week.
That's serious commitment.
Serious commitment. It takes several lifestyle changes. I mean, we used to ride early, so you'd go at 5 in the morning, and you can put in a 2.5 hour session before you
start work, eh?
Exactly, and then you have to go and do your day job. But you find ways to fit in the time, and I was lucky. My family were incredibly supportive. They made it doable just by being tolerant of my absences.
So let's talk family. Tell me about family. How many kids you got?
I've got 2 kids. My daughter's 12 and my son is 7.
And are they wild and crazy like the dad? Are they into sports, healthy addictions?
I'm trying not to make them as wild and crazy as I am, but my daughter's probably more sensible than my son. But you manage them. So. But I let my son loose in the swimming pool and he goes ballistic. So I think in a couple of years he'll hopefully be heading for the water as well. So.
All right, so 1 or 2 more questions as we do this live intro for videocelebritynews.com. After this, we're going to do a high definition, a little bit slower pace, more detail, more depth, because I really want to understand and share with our audience, like, what is the preparation that got you to participate in something like the Cape Epic? The fact that you've highlighted some of the challenges as well. Right, so my final question is, 2018 looking ahead, let's use Jim Collins' big, hairy, audacious goals, any massive things you're planning personally, professionally for 2018?
Look, I think for South Africa it's going to be a really important year. We've got a ratings downgrade to avoid. We've got a whole lot of political change that we need to digest. Fortunately, I'm on holiday, so I'm trying not to think about it too much.
Correct.
But apart from that, I'm skipping this year's Epic, and I'm planning to do the 2019 one. So probably just keep on cycling at a slightly reduced intensity, hit the sea as often as I can.
Better preparation, I understand. I think if you do a longer preparation leading to the next one, psychologically, mindset-wise, you're probably going to be in a stronger position to try and do a better time, as an example.
You keep a base in place, and then you just work on your technical skills, and you through a site like Strava, which is continually measuring you can try and get better and better at various sections, and your segments.
All right, so shout out quickly, Danny Bloomberg. How's it, man? And that's the guy that's been featured on Video Celebrity News. He does some of the biggest events in South Africa and in Africa. So Danny, thanks for joining us online. We can see that you've joined us. Hence the reason for the glasses, by the way. A lot of people do ask me, Craigie, why the glasses? Even Alistair, I pre-warned him and he can see. You cannot see a thing as far as vlogging unless you have the shades.
Yeah,
apart from that, it's actually supposed to make us look cool on this beautiful day. Here's the wrap up. Share the light, share the good news, share the love, share the festive season, share the positivity, love life, get out there, have an epic 2018. This is not the last of the interview. Go and watch videocelebritynews.com. We'll share some more detail. For next week, I did share with Alistair, I've got Ronnie Mule on the 27th of December, where he's going to share his Everest summit here, his actual success of climbing Everest, plus he's going to share about his crossing Africa. But getting back to this interview, Alistair, it's an epic day. You're an epic guy. I'm glad to have known you for 30 years.
Likewise.
Yeah, we've shared some epic highs, some epic waves. And I trust that you're going to go from strength to strength, smash those targets, and be an epic example to everybody watching. That's a wrap.
Great. Thanks, Craig.
Pleasure.